Can you look at the camera?
And with our new profile icon, we have begun the Dr. Z show. Welcome back.
Skype.
This is the return to our roots episode, where we use Skype because somebody's settings are all messed up, which is why you get the weird fishbowl sound in the last two videos. I apologize, because it is clearly my fault. And it would even be my fault if you did not watch those other two videos, but especially if you watch them, because I am the only one with the weird, not fishbowl sounding voice. Just the weird voice.
This does lead me to believe that we need to go back and redo the Shrek episode, because I think the people need to properly hear.
We are not redoing the Shrek episode. It happened. It is now over. We must forge ahead to real life.
Wait,
except
here's
sort
what,
of
here's
not.
What we could do. I could make.
No, you ruined my segue, Jacob.
No, I can make an animated version of the Shrek episode and re-voice all the parts.
So first, we'll need a transcript.
Yes. But those two episodes are gonna go down really well with all of our audience members who are fish.
If we're returning to our roots, Jacob, why are you like this?
Now I want to supercut it every time you say, Jacob, why are you like this?
I might actually do that. I've been thinking about what is the most commonly used phrase on the Dr. Z show that is other than "Welcome to the Dr. Z show" and "Adios."
Yeah.
And it is probably Jacob, why are you like this? So I might go through and pick out a supercut of that, because I'll have a lot of free time after we move. Because right now I do not have a lot of free time. Because packing is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And, my dad being military, we moved all the time, but, I didn't pack anything. For the longest time, growing up, I didn't pack anything. I wasn't really the one, I was moving, but I wasn't, pack up all my shit. And even when I lived in Europe, I wasn't moving everything that I owned. But now it's just why do I have so much shit? And it's not great.
I assume it won't all fit in your two cars.
No, we're getting a pod. Or sort of not pod from the pod company pod. We're also not sponsored. But a pod from a different company that does the same thing.
The concept of bringing a pod and
the concept of bringing a shipping container to your house and just putting all your shit in that.
Yeah.
Jacob, your joke was not funny.
I didn't even hear the joke.
It's like a what did you say, a pea pod? Yeah, a pea pod from the local farmer's market.
See, so my dad nicknaming everything thinks it's hilarious, and so now every pod company is Pea Pod.
No, that's confusing because that's an actual service provided by Stop and Shop.
I don't know what Stop and Shop is.
It's Giant. No, it's Safeway.
Oh, no, you're right. No, it is Giant. It's
Giant for New England.
Pea Pod, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
It delivers it to you. Okay, anyway, point.
Tangent arm back in.
I own too much shit. But on the good side, we did finally get all my Magic cards alphabetized and put in their respective color boxes. Because moving 800 different little boxes of just bulk Magic cards is a pain in the ass.
Yes.
So now I have 5 large boxes that have all the colors. 6 colors is a color.
Sorry.
What?
I didn't hear.
Jacob?
What did you say? What did you say that time?
I didn't want to finish, but I was like, you
finish. Finish him.
You shouldn't be moving the cards with your butt anyway.
That's just dumb.
You demanded this.
I'm laughing at that joke because it's dumb. Not because it's good, but because it's dumb. And because the 10-year-old that lives inside of me is like, ha 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 ha. That's funny.
Right,
and that 10-year-old is just a version of Jacob's soul that lives inside of me.
Oh, no.
Apparently.
It's not that bad. My wife has suddenly, except not suddenly, but now has started saying them all out loud, like very like stretching further and further, like sex jokes, like things that are not innuendo, like stretching, like as
She's
far,
getting
like,
really. She's
like
getting
remember
really
Michael
flexible?
Jordan in
Is that what
Space
I'm
Jam
saying?
when he like dunks from half court, like that kind of stretch for like an innuendo, and I'm like, no, like no one was thinking that. Like no one in this room is thinking about that. Why? But that's the same kind of stretch that Jacob made to make that joke. The Space Jam stretch.
So what are we talking about today?
Well, I had a great segue, and then Jacob had to ruin it.
Nah, fuck your segue. What are we talking about
Wow.
today?
Shit. All right. I'll just be here.
Look, it wouldn't be a proper episode
Talking
of
about
Dr. J
simulation
Show.
games, but specifically Day in the Life, where you have to live out a mundane existence that's more mundane than the existence you probably live in real life.
Yay! But it's fun!
Yay!
In a lot of these games, like you can't even, I don't know, like go to restaurants or like, you know,
So,
do like something to break
That's
up the
not-
monotony.
That's also not true. Jacob is
Well, it's
wrong
not,
again, as usual.
yeah.
It seems,
I
but, like,
will
there's
say,
restaurants in Animal Crossing.
You can
no,
build.
but you get to visit other people's islands. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
there's-
we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, we are.
I also remembered a game that I have to put on the list, so I'm gonna put that on the list.
Go for it. So, Day in the Life games. Let's get something out of the way. They shouldn't be fun, right? Like we should not necessarily when you describe to someone performing a mundane task or doing something that you already do in real life, it shouldn't be fun. And yet we all had Tamagotchis.
Tomogotchi is like, it's like, it's the super original Day in the Life game thing.
I feel like it's the first one that like a lot of people in our generation were like exposed to because you had a Tamagotchi, you took care of it every day. Some people had multiple Tamagotchis, and those people I was impressed with.
But they grew up to be like the shift leader at a Pizza Hut. Like,
What?
I don't know. Like, I feel like people that were like really, I don't know, like impressive seeming or popular, if we want to use like the technical term, in high school and in middle school and like Tamagotchi era, so like elementary school, like grew up to kind of like peak at like kind of a depressing point. And this is not like if you work.
Maybe
at Pizza
that's
Hut,
just maybe that's a
like-
Hayfield thing because that's not what happened at TC.
I don't think it applies to because I've just seen like a lot of people just from our own high school. Like it seems like their lives are going well. I would say maybe for like
but
elementary school.
hold on, no,
If you're
hold on,
popular
hold
in
on.
elementary school, like
I'm
maybe that's
stopping right
when you
there.
pick-
I'm gonna stop you right there. Is it because? Do you think this because you talk to all of these people, or do you think this because of what you see on their social media?
Well, different, a little different. It's not like like my life is so good. Like it's more of like oh hey, like I just started like a new job and it's actually in the like thing that I went to school for. Like
Yeah, that's
No,
more
not
of a-
Fair. That's fair.
So
Okay.
that's what I mean.
I don't know who we went to high school's voice is still like that, but okay.
But with Tamagotchis, like they objectively should not have been fun, right? You are a kid suddenly given responsibilities over a digital pet when you probably shouldn't even been given responsibilities of an actual real life pet.
Well, that's where a lot of them happen.
Yeah,
Does Abby just want to be on this episode again? Because she's saying a lot of stuff in the background, and it's like
yeah.
I can't hear what she's saying. It's just like the noise in the background.
yes, Abby,
Okay,
come
so-
here.
I feel like she's just now like a permanent fixture of the show because she's always been in every episode, but like nebulous, like
She's the special guest. She's
Okay,
like
so
she's
something
like the dad in Gilmore Girls.
yes, the dad in Gilmore Girls. for sure.
Lorelai's dad, because he's always like guest starring, but he's in almost every single episode.
Why
Yeah,
Why did he not have regular credit things? Is it because he was a fancier actor and they didn't think that they could get him? Like,
They probably
what's the
he also
George?
didn't he also
Foreman.
only usually
Man.
have like 3 lines in every episode.
yeah, he was.
No, he talked enough.
It depends on the episode. If he got angry, then he talks more.
No, yeah, she's right.
Like he's so
Testing
I
our extensive knowledge of Gilmore Girls on the Life Simulator episode.
so with that reasoning and this is why I don't think I brought this up in the theater episode, but when I got cast in my first musical, this will make you'll get it in a second. When I got cast in the first musical, my dad asked me, "Oh, are you a 5-line
Two
actor?
tangent arms at once.
Are you a 5-line actor?" And I was like, "What are you talking about, Dad?" He was like, "Oh, it's the idea that if you have more than 5 lines, you're suddenly up a pay grade." I had 9 lines. Like, so in general, like TV shows and movies and stuff, you like, you know how sometimes you get paid based on the number of lines you have in like the play or whatever. Because a lot of people, if you have 2 lines, they're not going to pay you as much as the lead.
Yeah.
But
That along those lines, there was an extra on a movie who was just like in a car driving by a scene, and I think he threw like an empty beer can at one of the actors' heads and like yelled something, and they took that shot, and therefore because he had lines and a speaking part and stuff, now he was actually paid more.
yes,
Even though-
when you start saying things, you get paid.
Okay, I have a theory on why the Tamagotchis are like.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We were still on like the Gilmore Girls tangent.
But
So I was
that-
like,
I was just saying, the reason why I brought that up was because if he wasn't a 5-line actor in that way, like in every episode, then he could be special guest. That was the point.
Okay, that makes sense. So, the thing with just how video games work, like, I haven't read all the studies, but this is just from personal musings, I guess, and game theory is the core loop, like, is
the
there's-
core gameplay loop. Yes.
there's a
His name was
thing
Edward Herman,
that
by the way. I was wrong.
every game is trying to accomplish and like to stay true to itself that keeps you coming back to play it. And so with Tamagotchis, that is going to be the sense of progression. So like if you get an actual like kitten or puppy, you know, there's a lot of stuff that you actually have to deal with. Like, you know, their poop actually smells. Like it's not just like little like digital markings being like, oh, like it pooped.
If you don't feed them, bad things happen.
It costs
They die.
money to get like the food and maintenance and like vet bills and everything for a real animal.
They can run away. They can get hit by cars.
Yeah.
Technically, your Tamagotchi can also get hit by a car. But if it gets hit by a car, you have also probably gotten hit by a car.
Yeah, technically, your Tamagotchi can hit by a car. Your Tamagotchi can drown. Your Tamagotchi can explode.
You sacrificed in a volcano.
You can get lost between your bed and the wall. And
Also, your Tamagotchi can drown sounds like an amazing threat. Like, or like, you know, just like diss to someone, like, oh man, like your Tamagotchi can drown. Like,
Like, if your version of an amazing diss to someone is significantly different than mine, like
I love your Tamagotchi can drown though. There's something so 1997 about it that it just like fills my soul with like.
that was a very specific year.
Yeah.
Tamagotchis were a lot more popular for a lot more years. Never mind.
Yeah, but it's got the like, it's got that same vibe as like eat my shorts. It's like offensive and like you're angry about it, but like why? That's such a mundane thing to tell someone to do.
But with Tamagotchi,
I had to explain
like,
get bent to somebody the other day.
in
Or like
a-
gag me with a spoon. Like
It goes from like an egg to like a little thing, and then it has like a little heart over its head saying that it does specifically love you, whereas some pets are ungrateful, not naming names.
You're just talking about your cat. Like, we all know cats are like that. Like, everyone knows. Like, everyone's like,
some
my
cats
cat
aren't,
is
though.
wonderful, and they call their cat an asshole like 100 times a day.
Well, that's
Like,
because they show.
everyone is like that.
It's because
the
cats
cat.
show their assholes so much that they.
Really out of it. Like she was just a punk for a couple of years, and with the Tamagotchi, it would have been like what, like 2 weeks before it was like, it loves you more than anything in the world. It would die for you.
Speaking of cats, though,
the real question.
That's just not a cat.
he is so much like a cat, though, that he is.
That's just because he's a little stupid.
No, it's not because he's stupid. Also, look, he got groomed and he looks so fancy.
He's also seeing nothing
I was,
and everything all at once.
yeah, I was thinking like into eternity. Did you know anyone who had like multiple Tamagotchis and was like trying to keep them all alive?
Yes.
No, I never knew anyone with more
I
than one.
did. Well, and what was
Why?
what-
Well, it was you, wasn't it?
it was not.
Oh.
I over the course of the Tamagotchi phase had 3 Tamagotchis because
The
one
first two drowned.
no, the second one drowned. The first one short circuited, I believe. The first one short circuited, the second one I dropped into the toilet, and the third one I lost.
Your Tamagotchi did drown.
My Tamagotchi, like, that wasn't a joke, that was personal experience.
Yikes.
Like a Neopet type Tamagotchi.
No, that was like, I was like getting ready for bed too. Like, it wasn't even like I was taking care of it like on the toilet. Like, no, I was getting ready for bed and I was like taking care of it and I knocked it off the counter. Oh, come here. Come here. Speaking.
Clark.
Yes.
He's got a lot of hair. That dog needs a haircut.
He's a fluffy boy.
We're all bringing pets.
Patch is a fluffy boy, but he needs to get his haircut for where we're moving. It's South Carolina.
We just you just rake through the fur, get out that undercoat.
Anyway, so
Pets. It's Pets Hour.
yeah, but you have a cat. That's different.
She's still
Yeah,
cute.
Cats
she's
are
not a
assholes.
pet. We are her pets. Or in her mind.
That's the difference between cats
Yeah.
and dogs. Dogs are man's best friend. Man is cat's best friend.
She's just I just grabbed her from a nap, so she's just like, what's happening?
Why am I awake?
Speaking
Patch is putting
of
money down.
dogs, I think another great childhood.
Claire's gonna make
example-
a case for this.
I'm
I definitely
not
just
Claire.
called you Claire, didn't I?
You
Yep.
did. You definitely called me Claire.
Yeah, you totally
Although
did.
knowing Claire, she would also make a case for this. But Brenna's gonna make a case for this, and I vehemently disagree, as usual, as is my reasoning for still
As
being
is,
on the show.
You don't think Nintendogs is in the same realm as
No, he disagrees with that. But
But no, also Neopets doesn't count because Neopets is only about the pet. It has nothing to do with you.
They had a Neopet little game thingy.
side note, we should absolutely
Little,
do.
Like,
If you're about to say we should do an entire episode on Neopets, no.
No,
I
I
know.
was gonna say we should
Got
do
your
an
episode, you spent it on Shrek. It's your fault.
No, I'm
Oh,
saying we should
but-
do it on online games like Neopets, Webkins, Club
Club
Penguin.
Penguin.
Yeah, like
Oh, jeez. Oh,
we
no.
should absolutely do that.
Well, that episode will end where we all know it will end, which is with RuneScape. But
Yeah, it
moving-
can end with RuneScape. But
Nintendogs. Please continue.
Nintendogs, I think, because you have to feed them, you have to give them water, you have to brush them, you have to bathe them, you have to train them, and
You
like
have to take them on walks.
you take them on walks.
Virtual walks, which is super depressing.
I loved Nintendogs, and I think I also had a benefit that a lot of kids didn't, where
You also loved Shrek, and we saw where that went. So
I
where is
don't love Shrek. Like that. Okay, that was the whole
Shrek
joke
and I
of the
are just
episode.
friends.
Anthony, that was the whole joke of the episode. God. Was that I only mildly care about Shrek.
Okay.
I enjoy Shrek as a
A
casual
wise man
Shrek.
once said, "There is danger in becoming that which you pretend to be."
The first couple Shrek movies were legitimately great, but in the way that many movies are great, where you don't have to build your life around them.
Yes, I agree. So, Nintendogs, I had an added benefit where I constantly had a group of about 15 people around me at all times from the dance studio who either all had Tamagotchis, we all had Nintendogs, we all had
Okay.
like
This is where I figured that was where this was
Yeah.
going.
so I got to experience like the really interactive parts of these video games and like of Tamagotchis having friends and like building friendships with the other Tamagotchis and like when your Tamagotchi and another person's Tamagotchi didn't get along, like you're like, oh no. Like
Okay,
Also,
see, so this explains a lot. Jacob, we'll come back to you, I promise. But this is just
I'm-
to segue off of Brenna's dance studio, like sort of like this explains a lot about like the person I am today. Is like
mhm.
all the people in my dance studio, like where I danced growing up, like or the different places that I danced growing up, always managed to play Tekken or Soul Calibur. Like that was what we played. Was like
No. See,
fighting
well,
games, and we just
well,
beat the shit out of each other.
you were also like
we were
and
not
as
like we were great friends, but like we just beat the shit out of each other all the time.
and I like as like gendered
The
and
different like
terribly stereotypical
no,
as it is.
like there were classes where I was the only male, and so I
I
was
mean,
like,
yeah.
oh, like I wonder what we're gonna go and do like after class, cause like we're gonna hang out, cause we're all friends. And they're like, let's go play Tekken at my house. I'm like,
I don't
okay.
know if any of the girls in the studio really knew about it at all, except for like Super Smash Brothers.
I'm just saying.
Which, don't get me wrong, when we'd hang out and play Super Smash Brothers, we had fun, and whoever won, it was like a big deal. But like, we almost never played it. We mostly spent our time.
Playing
Yeah.
Nintendogs.
Yeah, no, we had a huge Nintendogs phase. But we were with each other.
Jacob's like
15
gonna
hours a
explode.
week. Sorry.
okay, so
Yeah, you dance a lot
because
more
you're
like
talking about all the differences between like the responsibilities of having a real animal to take care of and a virtual animal. And I was just thinking like, well, you don't have to worry about like your Tamagotchi, biting your neighbor's kid or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, it would be amazing to have a sign like in the same style as like those warning signs.
Beware
that's,
of
like,
dog.
Or beware.
Beware of Tamagotchi. Oh God.
And then just have like a bunch of tablet screens set up on the lawn so you can see it running from one screen to the next, and then it'll bark at the neighbors as they go by.
So good.
Yeah.
That joke originally wasn't funny, but what Abby added onto it made the image hilarious.
Yes. I approve.
And this is
Yeah. I love that. What's
I just
also
imagine like the typical like suburban neighborhood, like nicely mowed lawns everywhere, and one with just like a bunch of tablet screens on.
like
The
the
mailman's like afraid to approach the door. It's like, don't go to that house.
we don't speak of that house. You know what I
Hitting them
also
with newspaper. Down.
life simulator games too. Just going back to this,
Coming
They're-
back to the point of the episode.
the point of the episode, they're really important right now, especially with
Oh yeah,
Just-
Animal Crossing New Horizons just like decided it was time to have a plague, and then came out. It was like, we're here now. Deal with it.
But like it's also been like the only like source of sanity for so many people, and it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
reason like I can't find a Switch anywhere. You know how hard I've tried to find a Switch?
The
That's
internet
not-
exists.
Wow.
That's a
No,
thing that exists where
No,
you can
that's
order
not
good
$500.
services.
Wow.
Wowzers.
I
No,
thought
I mean, like
they're-
retail
it's
internet exists. You
No,
can, like,
they're all sold out.
Yeah, but have you guys seen the videos of like the like grandmas and like old people that like are really into like New Leaf? There was that one grandma
Yeah.
that vlogged
played
Yeah.
like 9,000 hours or something. Like,
yeah,
That's so much, yeah.
like millions and millions of bells in her account, and you know, talk to all her villagers every day. And it's like this is probably because she's a 90-year-old woman who likely doesn't get out much
Mhm.
at all.
This is how she socializes. This is how she keeps saying,
I wonder
like,
if
yeah,
she wrote. I wonder. She is probably gone now because that's like
No,
a
she got the
considerably
Switch
long time ago.
Horizons.
Oh, really?
hmm
Oh,
You got
okay.
New Horizons, yeah.
That's comforting. But what's terrifying is I wonder if she wrote any of the villagers into her will.
doubtful.
Real grandchildren and stuff who made the videos. And
Well, like
Yeah.
if her like sanity starts to go, like if she gets dementia or just like becomes old and senile,
I
like
think that would be like. I don't think that you can like that wouldn't be enforceable, and you could make some good arguments about that being done. Like,
I don't want to. This topic is depressing, and I don't.
that's like the first thing I thought about. I don't know why my mind just like immediately went to think about that, but
Because
that's
you're
where I
a
went.
sad and broken person. I don't know.
Wow.
Well, I mean, the first thing he said when he found out this old woman was still alive was like,
Well,
oh,
that no, the post about her playing New Leaf is at least 10 years old.
I mean, yeah, but she's still been playing. Like, I mean, that's like Skyrim, Grandma. Like, they're just let's let these little old ladies have fun. Just let them have fun. Sit. Skyrim, Grandma's
87-year-old. Okay. Okay, we were really wrong about her age because you said she was 90. 87-year-old. This is a video from a year ago. 87-year-old grandma shows her 3,500 plus hours
Yeah,
in Animal Crossing. So
yeah.
I was wrong about the time. She turned to 88 this year and unboxed her Switch.
I love her.
idiot.
I would literally die for her.
Also, the character Audi from Animal Crossing New Horizons, the wolf character, or
Mm-hmm.
one of the wolf characters, is named after her.
Aww.
no one's confirmed that. They haven't said.
That was literally from Nintendo.
Well, they
Really?
the character named Audie, but I don't know if they've actually confirmed it's named after her.
Toadies and elves.
I mean, I hope it is. I hope that's true. But yeah, Animal Crossing's a really good example of, again, like, you are just making money and then you are spending money. It is a commerce, capitalism simulator. But it's real
Animal
cute
Crossing
and it's real
fandom,
fun.
Wiki, Animal Crossing World, Wikipedia, IGN, Eurogamer, all confirming. Where did the Nintendo article go? Ah!
Maybe the Nintendo article never existed.
No, it definitely 100% did, because I literally pulled it up.
Happy to see that you're beginning to
Forget
lose
it.
your marbles.
So you want to know something sad? Since
No.
No,
Yes,
Jacob,
I do.
I
I
don't.
want to know something sad.
Skyrim Grandma is taking a break from like posting on YouTube because she read comments that were like,
No, no,
That
there
mean-
were no mean comments. Fake news. No mean comments. She confirmed this on Twitter. There were no mean comments. She just wants to take a break because she's been making a lot of videos and she just wants to take a break. Let Skyrim Grandma just take a break in peace. There are no mean comments. I just
Jacob,
heard about this today.
Jacob, what's the truth?
I don't know.
I know the truth
Vice
because I
art-
read this.
It's a Vice article from.
Did you read it on the internet?
It's a
Yes,
Vice
I
article from
did.
5 days. But if she went on the record herself to say that she is just taking a break because she wants to take a break, then that
Yes.
is
She
any
confirmed this on
speculation
Twitter.
from her own words. It cannot be.
But anyway, live sim
Confirmed.
games.
Live sim games.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so we're on Animal Crossing. What was everyone's first experience with Animal Crossing? Because for a lot of people, it's New Horizons, because the
Pocket
Switch is wildly popular and has been selling like gangbusters, and
So
why Brenna can't get her hands on one.
I have never actually played not a Skyrim game. Sorry, still thinking about Skyrim, Grandma. An Animal Crossing game that isn't the Pocket Camp.
Yep, my first game was Pocket Camp because I knew that there was a game coming and I wanted to dip my toe into that world.
Me too.
And now you're drowning in it.
Well, and now I don't play Pocket Camp because it has like no features.
I know, that's the problem. No one's playing Pocket Camp anymore because they're all playing New Horizons. So
On
now
our
when
Switches
I
that
need
we
people,
bought
yeah.
with
So
our
now
money.
when I need people to help me go to my mines so I can go mine a bunch of renew source and mine like all the good stuff that I need, no one can help me. There's like 12 of my I have random people helping me, and that doesn't feel as good as your friends helping you.
Okay, so I never played like Brenna's like really depressing story aside. I never played Pocket Camp. That was the only one that I didn't play. Because I was like, okay, so if I really, really want to play Animal Crossing, like, there are all these other Animal Crossing games for all the other systems that I have. But, like, New Horizons, like, I don't know what was the, like, project name for it? Was it just, like, Switch Animal Crossing? Like, there wasn't, like, a...
I don't know.
Yeah, Animal Crossing for Switch.
Yeah, so, like, I was, like... I remember thinking, like, oh, like, there are, like, all these characters, like, they were talking about Smash Ultimate. And we brought this up in the Smash Ultimate episode, where, like, and that was, shit, that was a long time ago. That was, like, episode 4 or 5. But we were talking about Isabelle being in Smash, because she was so popular in New Leaf. And then, at the end of the Isabelle announcement trailer... They were like, oh, and like it was like Tom Nook at his desk, like trying to figure out how he can like siphon money this time.
Yeah.
So we knew that it was coming. It just took a little while to get there. But like, I remember thinking like, probably during that trailer, like, oh, the Switch is like the perfect system, the perfect blend of like, because they had Animal Crossing for GameCube, and like everyone like played it and it was alright. And then they had Animal Crossing for 3DS, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is great! Like we can take it places." And there was an Animal Crossing for the regular Nintendo DS, I think.
Put out on home console and then moved to almost exclusively handheld consoles for like all its other games.
They have merged. They have become one.
With the Switch they have, yes, it's beautiful.
But not with the Switch Lite.
And I would love a Switch. I will take a Switch Lite at this point.
Yeah, no, the screen is so small. It's so small.
Yes, the screen is very small, but it comes
so
in yellow.
small.
But it's yellow.
Well, you could just get a sticker or a skin and make your Switch yellow. We are spending way too much time talking about the Switch and not Animal Crossing.
Yes, there was Animal Crossing Wild World.
Wild World, that's what it is. I could have gone and looked at it, because I know I have it, but that's over there and I'm over here.
But then it's been on the 3DS just for a long time only.
Yeah, the 3DS I think was the longest.
That was
Actually, the GameCube might be the longest running. Like the one that's been out the longest without a sequel or without.
Yeah, it's New Leaf. Because Pocket Camp's not really a sequel. Like it's kind of a sequel, but it's not really a sequel.
It is a pretender.
It is a
Like,
mobile game.
To the throne.
I like Pocket Camp. I think it's
The
cute,
bastard air.
but I'd rather be playing Animal Crossing.
I don't know what
Switch.
this accent is.
I don't know what it is either.
On
So,
side note, I've been working on my Welsh accent for my pirate character for Renaissance Fair.
fun.
It's still bad, so we'll
Fun.
get there. Next step,
I-
when we do a real full up episode of cosplay, we all have to wear ours. So Jacob can be the head.
I guess if I do that, I should probably... Because I have most of a cosplay for my wizard character. I don't have one for my for my thief character. I have a multi-class thief wizard in the same campaign, and she's got 2 personalities, but I could do her fancy personality. But then I have to make like a really like fancy like dress, and that's like a lot of effort.
Jacob, when we do a cosplay episode, Jacob should not do his great headless character. He should do his budget brand character.
Ooh, Budget Brand, back with a vengeance.
Bring back budget brand.
You should
What?
do head salad and then just make a mask this time because so many people said you were doing blackface.
What?
Yeah, a lot of people said it was blackface.
Wait, what?
What the? How?
Even though it's like just black and then like a big star.
Yeah, like there
It's
was
a morph suit. How is that blackface?
It's not. It is objectively not blackface because it is not actually trying to represent a character of a different race, but instead the lack of a head.
I'm like pissed off on your behalf. Like, what the fuck?
There were a lot of positive comments, but there were a few comments that were like, "Oh, it's blackface." So,
What the fuck?
Anyway, life simulator games. Other than Animal
there's no way we're
Crossing.
going to finish this episode.
Other than Animal Crossing, what were y'all's explorations in the life simulator or other simulation genres growing up?
Oh well, of course it was
Sims.
Harvest Moon.
Sims. I've never played Harvest Moon, but I've played so much Sims.
So much.
Do you know how much it's?
You played Sims to calm down from playing Skyward Sword.
Yes, this is correct. I re-downloaded so Sims 2 was free for a hot second, and I re-downloaded Sims 2 in high school, and I played a bunch of Sims 2 because I was so mad about Skyward Sword. I didn't think I could get that passionate about how bad a game. I had never felt truly passionate about a video game. Like, I liked video games and I enjoyed playing video games, and things like Tetris like meant a lot to me, but I didn't get like angry or frustrated or have strong emotions. I don't know what is happening with Jacob, so I'm just gonna keep talking and hopefully it'll distract her.
So now he's screwing things back in.
There's
Sure.
these loose screws for like months, and I had no idea what they were for.
So
now
you
is the perfect time for home maintenance.
So you chose right at this moment. But
Yeah.
Skyward Sword, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, is probably the worst video game I've ever played.
Really?
Yes.
It is objectively bad, but that's not the point of this episode.
But that's not the point of this
Hey,
episode.
no one cares about your opinion. It's
Right.
objectively bad. You like games that are bad, like the Conduit.
You have to play with a Wii Remote Plus. That's the only way that it's livable. If you play
okay,
with a
well,
normal
that's-
Wiimote, yes.
I had the Wiimote and then
The nunchuck.
the nunchuck.
You have to have the Wii Motion Plus, where they where they made it more accurate.
But
I should not
Point.
have to buy. an
Yeah, you shouldn't have to
additional
buy peripherals
piece.
to make games playable that aren't like
Correct.
Guitar Hero.
But
Yeah.
I think you made a good point when you said that she played it to calm down from other games.
from other games.
I
Yes.
think that sim games fill that function for a lot of people because, like, when you're mad or stressed about something, you can enter a small world where you have
Where life is
You
simple.
have the comfort of the routine.
You have
A
direct.
lot of people make
goals.
this argument about like
Yeah.
Animal Crossing and Sims especially. Is like it's very like you wake up in the morning and you go and talk to your neighbors and you like dig up some fossils and you donate bells to your
You
project.
can upgrade your
or-
house. You have
you know,
very
like-
clear, direct.
and then you get really
goals.
pissed off because bees are everywhere, and then you're fine when you buy some medicine.
But I think the small amount of
Your day.
conflict is necessary to make it not just the most boring thing. You need to have
Yeah.
some conflict to make it. I think that's why you have the home loans from Nook. It gives you
A goal. That's like the
Yeah.
goal to work
an
towards.
antagonist because
Yeah.
it's
In
something
Stardew
that
Valley,
you to do
you're-
the thing, but no one's
Yeah.
gonna punish you if you never pay back the debt.
Why is there a How to Train Your Dragon crossover?
What?
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 I said
I'm a monster.
I said that Nook was a toothless villain.
Oh God. in Stardew Valley, keep fixing your furniture, Jacob. in like Stardew Valley, you're fighting against like your energy levels and like the seasons and like maximizing your crops and stuff like that. Like, or
Yeah, that's like real conflict.
yeah, like, but it's not like
Real, I mean, real conflict.
yeah, like real conflict. Like you don't have to like address any of it. Like again, you could just wake up every day and go fishing, and that's.
Or you could just be Jacob and run until you pass out.
And check the trash.
And rifle the
And
trash
root around
and
in
everyone
garbage.
hate you. God.
Jacob single-handedly is going to destroy our Twitch stream because we're Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley is going to be unplayable because all of our neighbors are going to hate us.
No, we just have to work really hard and give them really nice gifts, which is really hard when like a lot of them like things like diamonds and wine and coffee, which are all
Like
really
real
good.
human beings.
Yeah.
Always give Leah a salad.
Yeah, Leah's our vegetarian. She just wants salad. So yeah, Stardew Valley is a really good example of like you wake up, you have very clear directives. You know, there are like things you can complete, but you don't have to. You could just wake up, plant your blueberries, have 8 stacks of $9.99 blueberries, and just go to the mines and like live your life
This
that
is
way.
very specific.
It is.
Something that I was thinking about with these comments is like, day in life games are like there are goals, but there's like no imperative to finish them.
Yeah,
Oh, we covered it.
it's like life.
In that vein, though, Harvest Moon is like the meanest of those games because time progresses. Like there is an end. Like you have to do like you don't have to do anything, but like to achieve some semblance of like closure upon finishing the game, you like have to do all these things and you have to do them like really fucking fast. Like year 1, you have to get married. Like year 2, you have to have a child. Like, whoa, like I've been here for 10 minutes. Like, calm down. But the day progresses. It's like Pikmin. The day progresses so fast. You're like, wait, no, I'm not done yet. Where did the time go?
Well, I mean, in Sims, like, there's technically a goal. Like, if you don't complete it, you die. But then you just start a new family, and it's whatever.
They run around and pee themselves and freak out.
Yeah, you can
It's
just.
a weird game.
And then you seduce death, and I don't
Is
know.
that possible?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you can.
you can fuck death. You can woo
play
with death.
I didn't play The Sims until really late because this is the kind of
Woo!
well, okay, hold on. This is the kind of person my mother is she didn't want us playing The Sims because you could have sex with other characters. Like your Sim could have sex with the other Sims.
Which is not incorrect.
Which
Which is not wrong. But that was her
but-
whole reasoning for not being like allowed to play The Sims. So instead we were allowed to play GoldenEye or like Perfect Dark and Halo and like
So
Times
murder
and I was like,
fine.
murder is okay, but sex is not. All right,
Yeah.
You
got
can
it.
also
And
murder Sims, though.
You
Just
can also
But
yeah.
But
You
that's
put,
like a
them in,
different kind of murdering.
you put them in the pool, and then you just take the ladder out.
It's even easier if you just let
Very
them.
hands off murdering.
Yeah. Hands off.
This is going in a weird direction.
Yeah. No, I just have
No,
a quick.
like everyone did that when they played The Sims, though.
Yeah.
Like, everyone found the weirdest way to kill their characters.
Has any like I want to meet the people who've played the game the correct way, like
The
the way
Sims?
the game was intended, where you didn't just build the house that you really liked and
But
have
do you really want to meet those people? Because I'm sure those people
no,
are.
'cause they're probably
boring.
horribly boring. No, I mean like
And then
there
EA
so there is a part of me too that does want to
like
recreate the
that
Brian David Gilbert experiment as well, and like try to model my
this.
apartment in the game. So Brian David Gilbert did a whole episode of Unraveled on modeling your life and your apartment to maximize your happiness in Sims. And then his conclusion was that he needed a bunch of clown paintings. So I'm not saying like it's like, but I like the idea too of just like recreating my like 650 square foot studio apartment and like living my life that way. I just think it'd be
I feel
fun.
like clown paintings would make me less happy in the space that I live.
Yeah, but they
Like
give like plus
the
3
fewer
environment.
clown paintings I have, the better.
But they give plus 3 environment.
See,
But they
if
give plus 3 environment.
if I follow along with that, we're gonna end up in that Tumblr post that's like, start referring to things you own as your inventory.
Yeah.
Let's go to the store. I have to equip my shoes first.
No.
Okay, so other fun life simulator games.
Untitled Goose Game.
I was gonna say, I love being a goose in a pretty bow.
My favorite thing about Untitled Goose Game is not playing Untitled Goose Game. Don't get me wrong. Playing Untitled Goose Game is fucking hilarious and fun. But I will forever return to my favorite thing about Untitled Goose Game is showing the trailer to my wife. And she's like, "What is the point of this?" And at the exact moment in the trailer where he steals the picnic knife, I said, "To kill." And then she spent the entire rest of the trailer terrified that the goose was going to stab the little boy.
I mean, that's a fear you should have about geese in real life.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I
geese
know that's
are-
a real life. That's real life goose fear.
Yeah, goose will attack you. My favorite memory is I was playing it at my friend's house, and my friend Nick was also playing the game for the first time. And he had gone through the whole fighting neighbors level. It's a level. And at the end
We'll
of
come
it,
back to that.
you lose the bow. And he was so sad because he wanted to be a pretty goose. But you lose the bow in the bush. So what
Right.
I did, and then he went to go to the bathroom or go get food or something. So what I did, because I'm a good friend, I replayed that level, got the bow, and then went out the entrance and then made it back to the point where we were. So we had the bow for the rest of the game, and it made Nick very happy. And it's little things like that are really just
Your requirements to be a good friend are very strange. Like, don't get me wrong, you're probably right, but they're very specific.
Well, I think
and
there's like little
strange.
things. There's little things you can do to make your friends happy that are completely insignificant, but they mean that like you care. And I value those
That's
little.
that.
I
Okay.
value those little insignificance so much. It's like, yeah, it's like every time you give someone a gift, like, and then they compliment you on the gift or something, you say, "Oh, thanks, someone cool gave it to me." Like, it's something like that. Like, it's like stupid things like that. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just think there's some
Okay.
there's a cool little like friendship language there that you can develop with your friends. Not the point of this episode.
I disagree. See, okay, so I like Untitled Goose Game. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But I disagree with Untitled Goose Game being a day in the life, being like a life sim thing.
What
Because
do
it
you
has-
think it is?
Well, because it has very specific, like, it's Untitled Goose Game. Like, you can't categorize it. But it's not, like,
But
you
you're
can
just
say-
living your life as a
you
goose.
can say all of the things that it isn't to describe what it is. It's one of those kinds of things. So, like, it has levels. Like, it has, like, a system of, like, progression, and then it ends. But, like, when you replay it, it's the same.
There's another one.
Like, you do everything in the same order. Like, you have all the
But
same,
you
like,
don't
objectives.
have to do any of the things. You can just go around ruining people's lives. And you can just collect every individual item in the game and put it in a stack in your like nest and call it a day if you want it. Like,
Yeah, like, what you said wasn't wrong. I don't know. I'm just gonna disagree with it being a day in the life game.
I-
It's a great game, but
Yeah, but you also think Nintendogs isn't a day in the life game, and I just think you're wrong there
it
too.
only involves the dog. You aren't even the dog.
So
At least in
do
Untitled Goose Game,
Tomogotchis.
you are the Nintendog.
But
Wait, I mixed
okay.
that up. You know what I
Yeah.
meant?
Nintendogs
Yeah.
is a first-person shooter.
Is that the title of this episode?
Yes. Now it is.
Now it is.
Okay, we got to get to the weirder games though. Untitled Goose Game isn't even the weirdest game we have on
No.
this list. We'll come
Uh,
back. We'll come back. No, we'll come back to the really weird one because I wanted to add one that I remembered
Yeah.
the other day, but didn't remember until later today. Euro Truck Simulator.
Yeah.
More so than Farming Simulator or Trade Simulator, but Euro Truck Simulator, because you can actually sit down
Mhm.
at like the controls of the truck and
Mhm.
actually drive it to the destination.
So here's
And people do
another
that.
here's another interesting question. Do you consider certain driving simulators something like that too? In that same realm of like
So,
just really
What
thorough
are other driving simulators?
I mean, I
Crazy
know some people who've
Jacob?
created full rigs for I don't want to know where Jacob's going. I'm a little
He said
scared.
Crazy Taxi.
Oh, Crazy Taxi's not the same.
It's an Uber simulator.
No, I've been in that Uber. You don't want to be in that Uber. I've been in the Uber where like discount Mario Andrade's driving you, and I'm not a fan.
Discount Mario Andretti. First of all, saying Andrade feels like a personal attack. Andretti, continuing.
Oh,
Full rigs.
Is Paper Please
no.
Day in the Life?
No.
Or is it a puzzle?
Yes.
Paper Plane? What?
Yes. Papers, Please is
Oh,
a
Paper
day in the
Please is
life
a day in the life game. Yes,
is
absolutely.
a day in the life dystopian nightmare game.
Yes,
And
I
pretty
agree.
soon it will be required training to work any retail job.
Ooh, question. Five Nights at Freddy's.
No.
It's a horror game.
That's a horror game.
But
It
is
is
it
not a day in the life.
horror
It is
game?
not a day in the life game
It's
because
not realistic enough.
it's
Is
not
that right?
realistic enough, and that's why
Okay.
my last thing on this list
Not
will
realistic.
fail.
And you only play 5 days.
Well, I just like to
Like,
ask,
they-
you know.
The shoes of that character for a long enough amount of time.
I like to get thinking topics, right? I mentioned this to Jacob before we went live, and here I want to hear Anthony's opinion on it too. Playing games on survival mode, so playing things like Fallout or Red Dead on survival mode, where you
Well,
have
okay.
to sleep, you have to eat.
And so I've made this. I know you don't watch back the old episodes of the show, and so I've made this point on the show before about like playing rogue games and like roguelike games,
Right.
because I hate myself, and I want to feel that pain.
Well, no, my
But,
point
like-
is, when you play them as a survival game, do they suddenly become closer to a day in the life game?
I think
Yes and no.
the core
Yes.
play loop is still going to be like an adventure kind of like.
Yeah, the core of the game doesn't change, but I think it turns it into more
It adds like a secondary or a tertiary loop to the game where you're like,
yeah,
if I fuck up, it's the last time I will ever fuck up. Like
yeah.
just like real
I-
life.
I have to fall asleep. I have to find that cheese wheel. I have to.
Cheese whiz?
What?
I think about eating cheese in Skyrim, like how people make stuff like. Okay, I think specifically with Skyrim,
Run.
I specifically think of Keegan-Michael Key playing Skyrim on Alexa. And he's like, Alexa, how much cheese do I have in my inventory? And she's like, you have 63 wheels of cheese. Eat all of it. Just eat all of the cheese. And then his wife is like, honey, you know you're lactose intolerant. He's like, Alexa, keep eating the cheese.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think about, I was thinking about that. That's where my brain went. I just want,
Okay. Point though, adding like the survivalist element makes a game more realistic, but I do not think it adds like a day in the life aspect to the game.
Okay.
Because okay, so to take your Fallout example, like we have not yet actually like there has not been a nuclear apocalypse yet. So to
But
call
there are
Fallout a
little-
day in the life game is like kind of
But when have you ever been
wildly
mining?
inaccurate.
When have you ever gone mining? When have you encountered the forest spirits and rebuilt the community center and
Those are more
been given a
realistic things,
greenhouse?
though. Those are like
Encountering
closer.
Talking
Okay,
to a
not
bear
the
who gives
forest
you
spirit
more.
part, but those are more like realistic things that could more easily be achieved by an average human being.
And I think that one of the things is that those are all very optional side quests. Like, you do get a cutscene that introduces you to the community center, and there is
Okay.
just as a default character, but those are things that are separate from the main ways that you...
But in
Like-
Animal Crossing, you're like terraforming an entire island as well. Like,
This is true.
That's more realistic than the literal apocalyptic end of the world via nuclear war.
Anthony, is it?
Okay, I have.
Is it?
I'm gonna argue that yes, it is.
Is it?
Vote now.
Wait.
Is actual nuclear war apocalypse further from
From
the
our
realis-
current
is-
society. from
Okay, yes,
today.
you made it political. Congratulations.
I'm just
Actual
saying.
nuclear apocalypse or terraforming an island. What is
Depends on what country you live in. There's definitely some countries where you
Oh.
are thankfully closer to the Animal Crossing ideal.
Okay. I also, because we were talking about referring to real life things before as like, you know, like equipping your shoes or whatever. I think it would be really like uncomfortable if you met someone who referred to major life events of theirs as like interesting cutscenes. Oh yeah, my wedding.
really
was an
uncomfortable?
interesting cutscene. My life, like,
No, that does suddenly make it very
Press
sociopathic.
F to get married.
Yeah,
No,
it's
it does
Or
become
press X
very
to get married.
sociopathic, yeah. Because it's
oh
like,
shoot, I didn't say I do in time.
How long can you wait before it's uncomfortable? How long do you wait to say I do before it's really uncomfortable?
yeah. So do we want to talk about the weirder examples now?
Well, I think Euro Truck Simulator for one is already like a really weird example.
So I feel like we're approaching that weird
But-
realm.
The super weird example that I will always add to this list is Viscera Cleanup Detail. The game where you are a janitor, technically. Like, basically you're a janitor, but for, like, games, like, the aftermath of a game of, like, Quake or,
Mhm,
like, Unreal
mhm.
Tournaments, where you have to, like, clean up the giblets
Yeah.
and mop up all the blood and pick up all of the individual shell casings by hand. Like
Yeah.
it
Or
gets-
things
it
things
like
like
scratches that weird like perfectionist itch where like you
Yes.
can't complete the level or the area without like achieving like 100% cleanliness.
So it's a game to people that got all the Koroks.
Yes.
yes.
So you two now like have to add extra bonus videos to the channel where Abby plays Viscera Cleanup Detail.
I did not get all the Koroks. Just to make that clear.
Not yet. But you do have like 6 million apples.
This is true.
I would pay real life money to watch Abby play Viscera Cleanup Detail and listen to her commentary on it.
Yeah, so yeah, she's gonna
Do
make a
it.
Twitch channel, and you're gonna have to
Find me the
subscribe.
game and I'll do it.
Okay, wait. So,
Don't tempt me.
speaking of day in life games, so I like.
I'm not
because I
tempting
understand-
you, I'm commanding you.
Well,
Ooh.
What
Okay.
also
Does
that
Abby
says-
have her own Steam account?
I do.
Yeah. What does Mario do in between adventures? Is he an actual plumber? Like, does he need to renew his license?
Weirdly, there's a doctor game for Mario, but not a plumber game, even though
Yeah.
plumbing
Yeah.
is
Okay.
pretty easily
So
adapted gameplay.
I think Mario in his downtime.
Yeah, I want to see mundane Mario Brothers, not always Super Mario Brothers.
Well, and I think
regular Mario Brothers, the
Yeah,
alright Mario Brothers.
yeah. I mean, this runs into into the concept too. Like, I play in a D&D game where we have downtime, and you have to make money.
D&D,
or
the
lose
original
money.
day in the life simulator.
Yeah, like because of how our campaign runs, like we do episodic kind of adventures. We have jobs. I have both of my characters. I have a character who is a barmaid at the establishment, despite the fact that she's a high-level wizard. She's also a barmaid at the bar that is the center of kind of where we all meet. And then my other character literally just makes paper and binds books for the city. Like, she is a bookbinder at City Hall. And she takes the records and binds the books and then organizes them and then puts them away. And she makes good money doing that because she's the only person in town who can do it.
Okay.
But these are things that we've and everyone in our game does this stuff, right? Like we have a one of the priests spent 100 gold, bought out as many rations as he could, and started walking around the poorer parts of the town and gave people food. We've done these things that impact the world in some way, and it's, I don't know, it's a really cool facet that you don't get in a lot of the you pick up the next time, you pick up right where you left off for the next session. I don't know, it's a cool facet to a game, adding this time factor of
time actually actually passes as opposed to using a time skip to get ahead in the story.
The world changes whether you are there to do it or not.
I've always disagreed with games like that. Animal Crossing does it much less so now with New Leaf, but maybe that's because I've been playing it more. I don't notice it as much. Or not New Leaf, New Horizons. But I remember taking a 5-day break from New Leaf, and the entire island was a fucking disaster. Everything was ruined. And I was like, yo, I've been gone 5 days.
I think in New Leaf, can't you set ordinances for people to do things though?
That's much later in the game though. That's
end game content.
That's kind of end game content. For them to be that specific. Yes, Jacob, your joke was very funny.
Gosh.
I feel just acknowledging that Jacob's jokes are funny will get him to stop.
No, it won't.
It won't. No, you're encouraging him. If you give him a pat on the head, he's going to keep doing it.
But
the joke is reward enough.
The point though is games where time passes regardless of whether or not you're playing the game are kind of scary. That kind of bothers me a little bit.
Well,
going and talking to the villagers oh, you didn't talk to me yesterday. Whoa, you aren't even real. Calm down.
But again, that
you are the crazy
that consequence
that I already have.
You're talking about the consequence factor.
The thought of that is just kind of eh.
But with these games, we instead of having real life consequences where it's you lose your house and you die if you don't eat and pay your rent, you people just don't like you as much.
See, but I don't have a compulsive need to be liked by everyone.
Oh God, what's that like? I don't feel that oh, if this person doesn't like me, I'll be sad. If you don't like me, fuck you. No, if you don't like me, I will be sad.
There's 7 billion other people on the planet.
No, I want all 7 billion people to like me.
See, I worry that you are taking the joke too far.
But I'm not.
That's my worry. If you like Brenna, leave a comment saying you like her.
No, don't do that. I don't need
But
a
how will you
quantifiable-
know? Brenna,
I don't-
how will you know?
I don't need a quantifiable number
so-
because then the quantifiable number becomes like an encumbrance and like an intense awareness of like you're suddenly
Over-encumbered
applying
by
no. Well, no, you're applying numbers
Not
to like
fast
like an esoteric concept.
Cannot fast travel because you are over encumbered.
Okay, so I think the reason that having like a real clock in games and having the NPCs react to that real clock, like to you.
We're not talking. No. We're not talking about the real clock in the game. We're talking about the clock progresses whether or not you are playing.
Yeah,
the game.
that's what Jacob's talking about though.
Okay.
The reason that's scary is because it is a fourth wall break.
Yeah.
Don't want when games do that, it's scary. Like you don't want that.
It's like
scary, like actual scary. I feel like scary, like unnerving.
it's a sentience. It's like, and there's part of it that like, I don't know. It like, for me, it also kind of brings up those like old feelings of Catholic guilt too. Like when it's like it's been 5 days since I last played my game, and like
I don't feel like as a former Catholic, I do not feel Catholic guilt if my villagers are upset with me because I did not talk to them yesterday. Like I don't feel guilt. I just feel unnerved. I'm like why are you? It's
well, you also don't give you also don't care about what people think about you, so like you don't have that guilt complex.
And maybe this is because I've had ex-girlfriends that are like that are like, oh, like you didn't talk to me enough yesterday. Like okay, calm down. And that is very unnerving to experience in real life. So it's like less unnerving if like the digital wolf that lives down the street from me is upset because I did not talk to him or her yesterday. But it's still
why
like
is it only the wolf.
It's like, why are you keeping track of that? Is like why are these characters keeping track of these things? Or why are these
because they care about you as the player, because you are having an impact on the world.
Okay, so here's we'll go another step towards that. I care about the two of you as people, the three of you, or including Abby in the episode. But I don't like keep track. I'm not like, oh, like Jacob hasn't talked to me in 3 days. Like, what will I do with my life? I don't like sit at home like worrying about.
Well, that's because we're not petty.
So all of the characters in Animal Crossing are petty.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the conclusion we can get out of this, because they don't do that in Stardew Valley. But what they do in Stardew Valley is the more hearts you have with people, the nicer your like dialogue options are with them, and you get cool cutscenes, and you get, like have friends, and they give you things, and like so well, not every game.
Garbage, Jacob.
Or you run around in the garbage and everyone hates you. Just because games like Animal Crossing don't take just because they take that mechanic a little farther doesn't mean that games do that. Like that mechanic shouldn't exist in a game.
I think it's difficult to program in nuanced, realistic relationships, and it's a lot easier to have just
because if we could start doing that, life would be
terrifying. Because of exactly. Brenda's exactly right. Because if games did that, I would be afraid to play them. Period.
It's like, well, have you played Doki Doki?
Literature Club.
Just Monica. But like that gets that idea, right? Like that level of nuance and sentience, and like it's off-putting. So it's so much easier to have the in between.
That level of nuance, like to me, is achieved in games like Undertale.
Yeah. But that's an entirely fourth wall breaking game.
I like well, yes, and I like Undertale for the game that it is. It is certainly not a day in the life simulator, and I like it for the
No.
game that it is. But that, to me, that's where it stops. And I've probably brought this up before. Like, if you're gonna define games as art, Undertale is not even included in the top 10 for me. Like, it's interesting. But that's kind of all that it is. It has those like kind of nuances, but that's not like, it doesn't make it.
What is a game
it
that
is.
does it better in your brain?
Does what better though? Like, what specifically is it doing?
Metal Gear Solid. I watched a video about like fourth wall breaking games, and then Metal Gear Solid 2, Psycho.
Yeah, the Psycho
Mantis, like
the Psycho Mantis optional boss fight is
he talks to you about other games you've been playing on your like PlayStation.
that are in your memory.
Yeah,
That's worrying. That's just unnerving though. It's not. That's not like.
But it's supposed to be unnerving. Like, that's, again, part of
Yeah,
the
but
boss
you
fight.
know,
Same
you
with-
know
same with
where they're
Monica.
getting that information.
Yeah, I think that a game like that means that there will be games in the future where NPCs can talk to you about your browser history.
I
No,
hope not.
It'll happen.
absolutely not.
It'll happen, and everyone will hate it.
Unacceptable. Absolutely not.
I do not want.
No one wants it. Someone's gonna make it.
Talk about horrifying life simulators.
Brenna's browser history.
Just mine? Oh,
end.
yeah.
I have a question.
Anyone's though. Like,
yeah, anyone's. Like genuinely,
you could take. You could take.
I just don't think anyone wants people to know the stupid things that they Google.
No,
like,
yeah, you
think
could
about
take
the
anyone's
dumb
browser
questions.
history
Yeah.
and then take it out of context, and it's scary. No
Like,
matter
yeah.
what it is.
if you talk to an NPC and they're like, "You Googled where is Minneapolis? Do you really not know?"
Bring it back.
Come full circle to even before the episode started.
Before the episode.
But you really
So-
don't know where Minneapolis is. Like,
So
not even with
in
a ridiculous
conclusion-
idea.
In conclusion,
Day in the life games provide that like escapism that is so desperately needed.
but they provide it in a way that's not threatening.
Yet.
Until Tom Nook holds a gun to your face and says, "Pay me back," then
In real life,
Yeah,
real
no,
life.
real raccoon
Actual
breaks into your
gun.
home
Switched
with a
on.
real firearm.
and a Hawaiian shirt. Now I just want an image of a raccoon, like a real life raccoon in a Hawaiian shirt with a gun saying, "Pay me back."
Oh man.
I guess he's technically a tanuki.
Yeah,
He's technically a tanuki.
which is why the items are leaves. It's the whole
Right.
thing of lore of Tanukis.
Like,
Yes.
I'm
So
here
in
to possess
conclusion-
the computer, but it's an online game. You didn't read the
Ah, yes, exactly. Okay, this image does not yet exist. It's only people in Hawaiian shirts
Dressed as
with
Tom
ta-
Nook.
with tanukis.
No, I want.
And one with a rooster. I'm not sure you know what a tanuki is.
No, I like the idea that Google was just like, yeah, this is close enough. So, final thoughts on. Ooh, here we'll close out with a good.
Oh, I
A
thought that was
good-
the final thought.
Well, no, why don't we just say what our favorite was of all time? Our favorite game. 'Cause
Our
we-
favorite game of all time.
Our favorite life simulator game. God, let me finish talking, Anthony.
Let me
You
finish
wonder why
further
we bully
expressing
you
the
on this
point I'm
podcast.
making. Only you, though.
Jacob does it too.
Kind of, but in the Jacob way, which isn't real bullying.
But favorite life sims, go.
He doesn't say I'm
Favorite
what
life
was
is
it, a
go.
soulless
Brenna,
person
let's
or
go.
My
whatever.
favorite.
Yeah,
My favorite. My
is
favorite. life-
Nintendogs. We know that.
No, it's not Nintendogs. It's Sims. And
Well,
I'm
because
sure
you
it
play
would
because
be
you play
Animal
Sims
Crossing
to calm
if I
down.
could play it. Yeah, well, yeah. If I just
Sure
played
that it
Sims-
would be Animal Crossing.
Yes, because based on how much my friends are all playing it, including Jacob and Abby, including just
Me.
the world.
I don't
Yeah,
even play it that
you.
much, but
I just want to play it. I want to feel included.
I need validation.
I don't feel included. I want people to like me.
Over it, and I'll load you up with items.
I want to have the coolest island, and I can't because I can't make an island in the first place. Anyway, Sims is my favorite. I've spent a lot of time recently playing Sims 4.
why? Don't play the newer Sims. Microtransactions. Nah.
But you can be a wizard now.
Jacob got his Conduit episode, and you got your Shrek episode. I'll get my EA episode one of these days.
That'll
That'll be the language warning episode.
Yeah, you'll just be shouting the whole time.
And you have to talk about something you love.
The
Yeah.
volume and language warning episode.
And similarly, now you have to say your favorite life sim.
I don't know. Jacob, you have to go
Similarly-
The only one that I've
Brenna,
put any
no. You are not Jacob.
to it's Stardew Valley, so that is my favorite.
I like playing Stardew Valley with you two. Playing it by myself is just like, it like doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
Abby.
I played a lot of Stardew. I've played a lot of Animal Crossing.
Yeah, you guys have played a lot of Animal Crossing.
Well, when I work from home, you can just like leave it open, and then when like a present floats by, you can just
Wait,
navigate.
how are you a librarian from home?
I'm not a librarian yet.
You're not a librarian yet.
No.
I was gonna say because like that feels like a counterintuitive job.
Yeah, no, it's
Where can I find this book? Not here.
kind of hard to be a librarian right now, so I haven't applied for any of those because all the libraries
Valid.
are closed.
Yeah, this is incredibly valid.
But I don't know if this counts because we didn't go into it, but I did also play a lot of Zoo Tycoon when I was younger, and that's more of a
Ooh,
That's
it's a
management.
management game. I think
So
that's
we
a
didn't
management
include
game.
yeah, so we didn't include SimCity on the list because that's like management.
Yeah, I think things
Brenna
like
said
that.
city building, but like more overarching is like management, like
Well,
Zoo
yeah,
Tycoon,
because-
Roller Coaster Tycoon,
Yeah,
other games that end in
Factorio.
Tycoon.
Well, I was gonna say like Factorio, things like that. I feel like they're all kind of in this Rim world. They all exist in this like Kerbal Space Program.
I don't agree with the title RimWorld. My brain is too like evil
What Rim World? Have you
for
not
me
played
to
Rim World?
agree. I know what it is, and I know what the game is, but
Mhm.
call it something else. Don't call it RimWorld.
Anyway,
Please.
though, I didn't really have a whole lot of
Please
experience
call
with
it something
pets
else.
growing up, per se. Like, I had some, like, experience with some virtual pet type things, but not as much. And then I had a friend's mom who was, like, addicted to The Sims, and so that was kind of off-putting.
Hmm.
Being addicted to The Sims is worrying. Yeah.
It was
That's,
worrying, because, like, there's
Yeah.
not much you can do in there, right? Like, after a while, but it was, like, every time I'd go over, she was on the computer playing it for hours, and I was like, whoa, okay.
it's like Big Brother, kind of. It's like it
Mhm.
like scratches the Big Brother itch that people want. Is like
Yeah.
you have some like modicum of control over like what your Sims do and
I
like
was
what
gonna
jobs
say,
they have and like
Yeah.
you know the things that they do, but it's not a horrifying level of control.
After a certain point, it almost like I feel like it would be like you're just existing vicariously through these digital lives.
Yeah, and I don't even think that she was doing anything crazy like killing them. I think she was just like
Playing the game.
so she might have been the scary person that we were talking about. Where it's like, what are you getting out of this? You're just playing it like a normal person.
Well, eventually, excuse me. In things like The Sims, and like people are like starting to get pissed off about Animal Crossing New Horizons. And if you've already reached this point, you're terrifying, and you need to play a different game. But like, what happens when you have the biggest house, or the best house, or the job you want? Specifically with The Sims, like, what happens when when your Sims have like the family that you want them to have, or like the job that you want them to have, or the house that you want them to have? Like, where do you go from like the end game of The Sims? Like, where
You start a new game, and then you change the parameters of the game. Like that's how I would do it, at least.
Okay,
like-
so for Animal Crossing, when you have the biggest house and all the items you want,
I
and
don't
the
know
island,
because I've never
not
played
you
it.
specifically, in general, where do you go? Like, what end game content is there? Like, once the museum has all the art and the fossils and the insects and the fish and like
Nintendo,
and everything, like, where
Well,
do you go from that?
Nintendo is staggering updates of like having events and things so that you can, do holiday themed things or whatever. I think they're trying to mitigate that end game exhaustion,
They're prolonging prolonging the gameplay experience.
and that's how they're trying to do it. And there are like, I liked the Mayday tickets that they had where you went into the little hedge maze, and the stamp rally is kind of annoying because it's just unskippable dialogue every time you go in there, and it's like, I already did it.
But we all hated the Easter
Yes.
event.
Everyone hated the
Everyone
Easter.
hated the Easter event.
So Anthony,
I
what's your
don't
favorite
know.
sim game?
I don't know. I'm also not finished with this point. Games like, well, I think we talked about this a few episodes ago. Like, games without end game content, like, are like, you stop playing them and then you like never think about them again.
Ever. You don't even have a podcast with your friends where you reminisce over the games.
Jacob, why you like this?
I
Give that a golf clap.
run it.
Point. Not you never think about them. Like, the thought of its existence never enters
But
your
it's not
brain.
a game that you think about playing again.
Yes, that. Like, like, when you 100% complete something, you're not like, oh man, like, there's still stuff I can do, because there isn't. Like,
Unless like the developer adds more things as like an update or something, like
exactly.
Speedrunning.
Yes, speedrunning, but it's
Only if you're insane.
But I
People
also
that
don't think
speedrun are like a specific kind of brain. I don't have that kind of brain.
I don't think completing a game like Stardew Valley or New Horizons is a bad thing in that way, right?
No, I didn't say it was a bad thing. It's just there's nothing.
It's not a bad thing if you complete the game and then don't think about it again, because that means that you got what you were hoping to get out of the game, right? Like, if you play Stardew Valley like every way that you possibly could, first of all, that would take hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, possibly 1,000 hours to fully play the game individual, like playing like an only mining version, an only fishing version, an only farming version, an only animal farming version.
And
Lewis,
okay, so
yes, it takes 450 hours to complete the game.
what was that?
Lewis.
Oh, okay, I was like, suddenly another voice.
Yes.
Player 5 has entered the game.
Because Lewis is one of those people who gets hyper focused on a game and then like insists on
finishing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm not one of those people.
Yes.
Which
I mean,
is why
I don't know
my
how many
backlog
times
of games is like a mile long. But
he gets like Factorio is the easiest example of this for him, where he just like he finds a new way to speed run it and shoot the rocket faster.
Speedrunning also, for a lot of games, eventually becomes, like, find the glitch.
Well, sometimes you're also not, like, the goal, like, for, like, games like Factorio and other management games, too. It's not necessarily, like, find the glitch. It's, like, optimize harder.
The robot people.
Yeah.
Right.
Stardew, I've seen a lot of challenges where it's like complete, like how fast can you complete the community center, like getting it done in the first year and like making it so that you have everything proper for that and things like
optimizing the plants the crops you plant.
And so maybe this is why I play roguelike games and like Minecraft and like world like very big sandbox games like Just Cause, or play like strategy games like Age of Empires, is because like there's always another way to play it. Just Cause is a bad example, but like there's always another way to do everything. Like you can still achieve the end game, and like you can, like, for Age of Empires, for example, like you can complete all the scenarios, like whatever, like all the campaigns, but like there's always another way to play it.
Yes, there's always
like,
the no armor,
but everyone
the
is
no
like,
armor rusty sword go through of Dark Souls. Yes, there's always those things.
Like, and that's why I like games like that, is because there is not infinite, but so much that it could become infinite in theory, like replayability value.
See, but the downside to those games is like there's nothing worse than playing a game like that and someone telling you like you're playing the game wrong. And that happens a lot. Like,
there are worse things. There are a lot of worse things.
Well, I'm saying,
but this feeds into this is feeding into your need to be liked by everyone.
Well, no,
like,
not necessarily.
If you think I'm playing the game wrong, like, fuck
Can
you.
I explain?
Like,
Can I explain my point before you just tell me I'm an idiot? Like, my point is, like...
Not what I said, but okay.
You know what I mean. My point is that there's people who will sit there and, like, when you're playing Monster Hunter or something like that. Let's take Monster Hunter for example. I've had people who will say, oh, only 2% of people use that weapon. Like, you can't use that weapon. That weapon's garbage.
Okay.
Yes, you say okay, but it diminishes the fun when someone's like, you're playing it wrong, like, this is garbage. For me, it diminishes that. Having people tell you how to play a game diminishes the fun of playing the game. Like, I played all of Fallout 3 without knowing how to use VATS. And I still had fun.
For me, okay, so this is like another like fundamental difference between us. It doesn't diminish the fun of the game for me. It diminishes my opinion of that person. Like,
yes, but when someone tells
you
you're doing
no, you're wrong.
Poorly,
you're having fun in the wrong way. Like, eat a dick. Like, I don't like you for doing that. Like,
I don't know.
Okay, it's my opinion.
I feel like that could be an entire episode of just like this argument.
The wrong ways to play games.
Or like finding look, we were supposed to end this episode 20 minutes ago. Like we finished like we came around to the final point like 20 minutes ago, and then
okay, well, so the VATS thing. No,
the VATS thing.
My own personal experience with that is, like, I played through kind of like a worrying amount of the first Dark Souls without realizing that you could target things. Like, without realizing that you could like hold a target on an enemy.
Yeah.
And someone told me that, and they were like, wow, you're a fucking idiot. But, like, I wasn't upset with that person. I was more upset with myself and being like, wow, I'm a fucking idiot for not realizing that this is, like, an essential part of this game that I was missing.
But it's also genuinely why I just did a melee playthrough of Fallout 3 instead of a guns playout. Like, I did a melee playthrough of Fallout 3 because guns were too hard to use without VATS.
The only melee is so infuriating, though.
I love it.
Everyone has guns.
No, you just run up to them
It
and
is
you murder them.
literally bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah, and I had fun. You just go high armor. I didn't use power armor, by the way, either. I wasn't using power armor. Yeah. I was a mad lad. I just went high strength. High strength sledgehammer.
How
And
do
a
you
shot-
deal
and
with
a
like
shotgun.
super mutants and death? Okay, the shotguns are not melee weapons.
no, but like that was my panic button. Like I need to do a bunch of damage from kind of far away. Shotgun shotgun shell. And then like Molotov cocktails and grenades.
Again, not
I
melee
would-
weapons.
I would do that again in a heartbeat. I would do a no VATS like a no VATS playthrough of Fallout 3 again in a
So
heartbeat.
I guess what we're saying is next week's episode is going to be artificial limitations you have placed on yourself in games.
Yes.
Well, we already said that the next episode we're gonna do is games with bad controls
Games with bad
on
control.
purpose.
Wow.
The
Surgeon
next
Simulator.
one, then.
The next one after that could be
Octodad.
yeah. I am bread.
Surgeon Simulator on the Switch. You should play that in preparation.
Oh man.
Oh no.
Why do you hurt yourself?
Finally beat Quap.
Quap! Totally
Is it possible
counts!
to beat Quap?
Yeah, you just have
Yes.
to get the legs splayed out weird, and then you can just like slowly hobble.
Yeah, you just like hobble your way.
You don't actually run.
Quap and Clop were such fun games.
What is
Clop
Quap?
is way Clop
Why
is
am I
your-
asking?
it's Quap, but you're a unicorn. And you have to go save the princess.
That's harder.
You have to control 4 legs.
So yes, you have control of all
My
4
God.
legs. Yeah. So instead of arm, leg, it's front leg, back leg, and it's so much harder because you have to have to finesse
No,
the
it's
like
not
da
arm,
da 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 da. Oh yeah, it's thigh, yeah. But like you have to like perfect the like da 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 of like a gallop. It's great. Honestly, I this is part of why I wanted to like do the Twitch stream more. I just want to show you guys like all of these weird like we should just show each other weird games. Like
Okay, well, the next time we Twitch stream, we have to play Chex Quest.
yes, we should do the update to Chex Quest because I've actually never played Chex Quest.
Oh god.
It's great.
So
Okay.
let's end the episode here.
With my favorite
Yes, with your
simulation
favorite.
game, because we still haven't approached that.
We
Because I
haven't.
don't really know. If I have to pick one,
Which you
I-
do. That is the parameters of this question.
if I have to pick one specifically, so far I will pick Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Okay.
But if I'm playing with other people, it will be Stardew Valley. But if I'm
Okay.
playing by myself, Animal Crossing New Horizons.
And he only said that because Tom Nook had a gun to his head.
Yes.
Coming
You
out.
can't see it, but off screen, Tom Nook. There's a small Tanuki in a Hawaiian shirt with a gun pointing it
Made out
at
of,
him.
it's the Nintendo Labo gun. That's
The
actually
Nintendo Labo gun. Oh
But it
yes,
fires
there-
bullets.
it
or something.
fires real bullets. Yes. So this has been another episode of the Dr. Z Show? Question mark.
Sort
This one was kind of all over the place.
What did we agree the title was going to be?
Nintendogs is the first person shooter.
the Nox the first person shooter.
And you can drown.
All right, and we will see you next time on the Dr. Z Show.
Adios.